court system. There's nothing that we can do. We lose authority in that. So basically how it'll work is that you'll go to court and there'll be a charge on this account, yes, but they'll either determine, okay, the charge is valid and it will remain, or no, she has to return the funds to you at this point. And that's why she's bringing it to the court.
But this is where there's a huge misunderstanding. We're not getting it. We are not getting it here at all. She is suing me already for the 1235. She already got the case rolling. The judge is going to listen to it. So why should I be charged here 1235 if the judge is going to hear it? And furthermore, let's go back to the first chargeback. Why did I dispute that first chargeback? Because she did not do the work. And the very little work that she did wrong. That's why I'm filing the chargeback. And what happened here is that people got mixed up with the second and third transaction she tried putting through. The second and third transaction was the
transaction. The 827 transaction, that's the fraudulent one, which she gave you credit for on the 29th. So that one is done.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're just looking at the May transaction, which at this time, it's just past time, we don't even have rights to the time frame to assist in this one.
What do you mean by that? I filed the dispute before the 60 days. I made it right under the wire. And here's what happened. You guys sent me something to sign the affidavit, and I included my documents. I was checking my box proactively. I got it on September 22nd. And I got it back to you both by fax and by postal mail on the evening of the 25th, morning of the 26th. And I plopped that right in the box. And unfortunately, I received a letter with her rebuttal dated the 25th, but I got that last week. So you guys didn't get a chance to see my affidavit signed in that 3-day window that you got the second one. And again, I got your letter on the 22nd of September. And I got it out on the 25th of September. And I was actively checking my box. Actively. So, we have a mess here. I disputed that May transaction because she didn't do the work, and the very little thing that she did wrong. And the misbehavior on her behalf. We have a disaster here. And unfortunately, Chad did not look at this paperwork thoroughly.
Right, but
there's no but. Mickey, I'm sorry, there's no but. I mean, you've got my ideas clearly. You have my ideas clearly. I can tell you do.
Yes, but at this point, we have no right to assist. I mean, basically, once we initiate a dispute or a fraud claim, we have the right to charge back. We can take the merchant or the credit from the merchant. But at this point, we've lost the right to do that. So if we were to take any money from this person, it would be us stealing, and we can't do that.
Whoa. It would be stealing?
Right, because we don't have rights to charge back.
How do you you're talking also to a merchant. I know about chargebacks. She sent her rebuttal, and I responded to that rebuttal. I was told this is going into pre-arbitration. And I was told by Clarissa I would have a provisional credit put on my account, that the provisional credit was placed on the old credit card, and it was due to be placed on this credit card number here, the new one, because I did it by accident, and it should be done within 24 to 48 business hours. I should be off on Thursday. And I asked her, can you please follow up with me once it's on the account?
The fraud claim is in pre-arbitration, but they've already issued you a credit for that. The dispute, we can't assist.
Can you water that down for me, please?
Okay, so there's two claims.
Mm-hmm.
We did a pre-arbitration for the second claim.
But that was credited back onto the account by the merchant, wasn't it?
Well, the thing is that when you issue a credit, I mean, there's no identification which charge this is for. So really what's going on here is that you have two charges for the exact same dollar amount.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't assist with the May charge,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing to really say that this credit isn't for the May charge because we can assist with the August charge.
That I totally did not follow. I really need you to simplify this. I'll tell you why. Here's what I'm understanding from my end, okay? Okay. The May charge we're clear about. That's what I initially disputed. The second charge, I was told was credited back by the merchant immediately.
Well, okay, so there's...
Is that a yes or a no? Did the merchant credit it back, or did you guys credit it back?
The merchant issued you a credit.
Uh-huh.
There's no way to tell that's what the credit is for. They can't give you a credit and say this credit is for this specific charge on this specific date. There's nothing that can do that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Oh, go ahead. I'll hold on to my question. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's two transactions. Now, the one in May, we don't have rights to continue a claim. The one in August, we are doing a pre-arbitration. Now, there's nowhere to say that that credit you received in August couldn't be for the one in May. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time slowly. There's no way to say that that credit in August
isn't for the May charge. There's nothing in here that's going to say this credit on August 29th is for this charge or this charge. There's nothing that's going to specifically indicate that.
Okay. So are we saying here that we still have a claim, and that's the one for August?
Right. The one in May, we can't assist with. We just don't have rights to assist with.
But
However, you all...
Go ahead. However, go on.
No, go ahead.
However, that credit that you're seeing in August could be for May, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It could very likely be for May.
So,
we don't have a way to identify.
But now Visa does.
No. There's no way to identify that credit is for that particular transaction.
So
the exact same dollar amount as each of these charges.
So the one for August is still in dispute going into arbitration.
Correct. That's in the pre-arbitration status right now. The one for May we just can't assist.
How many charges do you see I've been charged that my balance is holding on to for All Valley Paralegal?
The merchant charged you twice.
My account balance. How many times are you seeing that? Let me phrase this better. You see what my account balance is. Based on that account balance, how much of it is All Valley Paralegal?
Well, essentially none. Because, okay, so you received, there were two charges from the merchant, then there were two credits from us, and then there was the credit from them and the charge from us.
That's confusing. Let's do that. Let me write this down. Okay, I'm going to write down two charges AVP. One credit from AVP, is that right?
Yes.
So that would equal one charge so far. Okay, go on. And there was something about you guys. Go ahead.
Then there were two credits from us and one charge from us.
Two credits, which would be, one charge, and then two credits. So that's still a wash, a zero, is that right?
Exactly.
And the reason why we're at zero is because it's in arbitration. One in arbitration, right?
Arbitration, correct.
So essentially we're saying that we can't do anything about May, but we can creatively get around it by saying we don't know what credit this was for in August.
Right, because it's very possible that it could be for the May, and we're already in pre-arbitration for the August one.
So we're just basically Then why doesn't anybody tell me this?
Well, honestly, it's probably because you go into so much detail that's really not necessary where we could just identify what the actual problem is. So, I mean, I apologize about that. It's just there's so much going on. I think you just kind of have to look at it a little more simply as well.
Well, I guess when one is personally
I mean,
involved...
with all the respect, I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, with all due respect, I didn't hear the remaining portion. What was it?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I am just, look, put yourself in my shoes. I believe that the more detail you have, the clearer the picture is, and the clearer the picture is, the more understandable it is.
No, and generally that is true. But sometimes it just makes a little things too. But yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying, and then I mean I can see all of it. Clarissa noted this she basically had everything that you just went over with me. I mean, almost word for word. She's very detailed in her notation, and so I do see that she sent that over to the case processor. But at this point, all that we're doing is we have the pre-arbitration for one, and then the denial for one. But you've already received a credit for one, and we're just still investigating one.
When was that credit placed on the account?
The credit from the merchant or from us?
From you guys. Because I was told by Clarissa that on October 3rd, it went to pre-arbs. I'd be getting a credit, and that credit was placed on the wrong card. It was placed on the old card ending in 6434, and that she put notes on the account for them to put the credit on the new card. Do you see it was already placed on there?
Yeah, I wasn't listening. Okay. Okay, August 22nd, you received one credit? Am I? And the other credit... Okay, hang on a minute. Sorry, I just wanted to...
That's okay. To crack my neck.
Sorry.
That's okay. There's no rush. And you still have my number in case we get disconnected. You can call me back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you received... So, okay, so it's coming on September 25th.
It didn't enter pre-arbitration until Friday the 3rd.
Right.
I was told that there was a provisional credit put on the account for to reflect that.
A new provisional credit?
It would be a new one. I was told that there was a credit put on after the 3rd. And I was told that by Clarissa. And I was told it was put on the wrong card. It was put on 6434 as opposed to this new one ending in 3270.
Well, the credit is on September 26th, so there wouldn't be a new one.
Yes, there would.
Well, once you issue the provisional credit,
I'm sorry, hold on
there
a
won't
second.
be a
There was a charge by All Valley Paralegal put back on the account on the 26th. So we took that. I think we should have taken that off because you guys are going into arbitration.
Are you referring to August or September?
September.
The only thing that happened in September was the credit and then the offset of that credit from us, both from us.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. And the off who? I'm getting worked up again. Do you see a charge for, I'm sorry, do you see a charge for All Valley Paralegal on September 26th?
No.
I do. When I log online, I do. It's there.
So you're talking about the rebill from us, not from the merchant?
I guess so. And I was told by Clarissa on, what's today? Today's Thursday. When I spoke with her on Tuesday, I was told that it entered pre-arbitration on October 3rd. And there was a new credit placed after it entered pre-arbitration.
That is incorrect.
That's not what she told me, and I have my calls recorded. I can play it for you if you'd like.
Okay, well, I mean, you could play it, and that could be what you said, but that's just not correct. I apologize. There's not a new credit. The credit was issued that same
So
day.
why did I have a charge again on my account for All Valley Paralegal?
Well, it's the reversal of the credit that you received.
So then how are we basically, so I still have one charge from All Valley Paralegal. So everything that we said here, that we cannot decipher what the credit was for in August, whether it was for May, regardless, we're going for the one in August. Regardless, I still have now a charge for All Valley Paralegal. So everything that we've been talking here has now been washed away by the charge I have here in September.
Well, no. Because
Yes!
you received a credit. Okay, so you received a credit from us as well, which actually canceled it out. The credit and that charge is authorized on September 26th. So you are going to be getting the credit, it just hasn't posted yet. It's still authorized.
When am I receiving that credit?
The credit can take 5 to 10 days from that pre-arbitration.
So you do see. So now you're saying, before you said no, now you're saying yes.
No, I've always said yes on September 26th. September 26th.
You saw a charge for All Valley Paralegal,
And
right?
it's a charge from us. No, it's a charge from us.
Right. Same thing. Okay.
So
A charge
it's
for.
not the same thing.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I respect that. Okay. Please continue, because I'm with you now. Go on.
So basically what you want to do is you just have to wait for that charge to post, and then that'll actually offset the original transaction.
That I don't follow. Watered down, please.
So the authorization for the credit
Yes.
happened on September 26th, which is the exact same day as the charge.
That makes no sense, because I was told, and I'll tell you why. I was told by Carissa that the moment it went to pre-arb, a credit was posted on the account. However, it was placed on the wrong credit card. That's what she told me.
Okay, well, again, that's inaccurate. I apologize. So it wasn't that same day. So it was pre-authorized on September 26th. Once it goes
I'm sorry, what was pre-authorized, the credit or that charge that came back?
The charge posted.
On the 26th,
The credit
right.
was authorized.
You guys, on behalf of All Valley Paralegal, I'm with you there, okay?
Okay, well, it's not on behalf. It was actually us reversing a credit.
Right. Okay. So when is the credit for that coming in?
So that credit, again, can take 5 to 10 days after arbitration. It has to go into the arbitration. So it wasn't applied that day or wasn't post that day. It's 5 to 10 days from that date of arbitration. But the authorization was September 26th.
Right. So we're still waiting for one more credit to post on the account.
Right, and we're just waiting for the arbitration. Which it looks like the arbitration review for that is October 23rd.
That's what Clarissa told me. So, when we're saying 5 days, are we saying that's the confusing part? If it's scheduled for, the 21st, she said? Or the 23rd?
From October 3rd is when it went to the arbitration.
So we're waiting 5 business days from October 3rd.
5 to 10. Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it instant like you usually do when it comes into the system?
Because once it's an arbitration and it's placed on an old card, it takes a couple of days for it to be processed. There's no way to make it instant. And because it's a credit line, and essentially you're not actually getting a bill yet for that one, that's the reason that it takes a couple of days. It just falls under different regulations.
So we are waiting for one more credit to come in.
Well, it's already there. It's just waiting for it to post from the old account.
So the part that Clarissa told me was correct. It was placed to the wrong account number.
Well, no, I mean, it's an authorization, so it just hasn't posted to your new account yet.
Okay.
I mean, it's not an error or anything, or that's the way it's supposed to be. It just takes a little longer.
Maybe I interpreted it as an error. Okay. So basically, the ball is moving, so to speak. The ball is rolling down the hill. It's just a matter for it to reach it's a matter for it to reach the final destination. But it's in motion, is what we're saying.
Absolutely.
So I should see this amount deducted from my balance any day now?
Well, it takes 5 to 10 days, and the third was just a Friday, and Monday is a holiday, so probably maybe next week, I would assume.
I'm sorry. After next Monday's a holiday, I didn't hear you clearly. I apologize.
So probably at the middle of next week.
Okay. You know, what I gathered from this conversation, Mickey, is that so far it looks fine. It's just the way that you, when I say you, I mean the bank, the way the bank has labeled all this, that can really...
Right, I mean, certain things you have to fall under certain classifications. I mean, we do have certain more strict regulations we have to build on. So basically, the way that you're looking at it and the way that we're looking at it, I mean, the terminology is just so different. Because the charge in May, that one we just can't assist with, so we can assist with the one in August. And I think the way that you're looking at it is that they give us credit for August, but that's not necessarily the case. The credit we take qualifies for May.
No. Okay, I'm with you on that. Just please put yourself in my shoes. I like to think I'm a reasonable person that tries to respond and not react. At least I try my best. With the one swoop summary Chad put onto his system, the one swoop summary he placed on the notes, rather, not the system, that's enough to really push the wrong buttons on the person. I mean, when Jeff read
it... I definitely agree with you. I mean, some of the letters that we sent out, I agree they're not worded very well at all.
You know, I mean, with what... And, of course, you get a person like Jeff, who just came on the line, giving me this, and I'm like, oh, boy. This guy has not looked into the notes deeply, and there's a mess here. There is a mess. So, and, of course, missing Chad's call... Yeah, I wish Chad would have explained this to me. I really do. And being...
I'm going to ask Chad to try to call you again, and I'm just going to let him know very widely that you cannot answer calls that early in the day.
Yeah, till 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Is he on Central time?
Yes.
So I gather he
I
probably.
told him after 12 Central Time.
It's actually 12 Pacific time. Pacific
Okay,
time.
so I'm just going to put in his time, so then I'll tell him after 10 a.m. Central Time.
No. I'm 2 hours behind, not ahead of him.
You're 2 hours ahead.
I'm 2 hours behind Central Time. 12 noon my time.
California.
Yes. 12
Okay,
noon my time is 2 p.m. his time.
Right.
So not
so
before.
if I told him to call you at noon Central Time, he would be calling you at
10 in the morning my time.
10. Right, which you don't want.
Right.
Right. So, okay, so you said 12
Pacific. My time.
Your time, right?
Which would be
So that's going to be
his
time.
Yes. Tell him I work graveyard shift. I'm not available.
Okay. So then I'm going to try to give you a call again just to go over that a little more. And then again, it is processing. We're just have to wait, okay?
Okay. The paperwork that I sent in on, what's today again? Today's Thursday. I would have sent them on at the end of Wednesday going into Thursday. That 23-page fax, you got that already?
Yes. Or such you did it. Yeah, the notation that you did get it.
Okay. So the submission, is that being submitted in arbitration?
Yes.
Okay. So far, it looks like I'm not paying anything for All Valley. Is that correct?
At this point, yes.
And that's because we have one, and that one is for the one in August, and we're filing that as fraud because it was clear that the merchant was rebilling me unauthorized.
Correct.
And we have a stronger leg to stand on to win that one. Is that right? Because it's fraud.
Right.
Could I ask you a question, Heather? Let me just get a little sip of water here. I'm a little worked up from this. There we go. Okay. I'm a merchant, as I mentioned before. Isn't there some code violation, like some type of compliance issue, that you can get All Valley Paralegal on for recharging that card?
Exactly. And that's the compliance with the regulation code 72, I think.
Okay.
And that's the reason we're able to dispute it as fraud. That's the only reason we can continue as being fraud.
Because it's code 72.
Otherwise, it would not qualify for under fraud. It's because that code 72.
Under code 72. So, okay. I asked because, look, I've done my own investigations on this woman, and I want to take just a few more minutes here. In fact, I need to get me a Diet Coke. I need that caffeine. So you're going to hear some noise in the background, just opening up this refrigerator door and this bottle, okay? Look, I don't need to take too much of your time. I know you mentioned I'm a little bit detailed, but please just know a few things. The lady that I'm dealing with, Lorraine Schwam, the owner of All Valley Paralegal, and this can be found online. The last paragraph of my letter is a very, very strong assertion. She's operating illegally. She was barred by the court, and I put in the case number. She was barred from the court from practicing. I did not know that initially. The reason I discovered that, Mickey, remember I mentioned that Lorraine faxed the heck out of my fax machine with all those faxes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in one of her faxes, she mentioned how a competitor, she really went off the deep end, and she does suffer from some mental issues. I know she does suffer from bipolar disorder. And by no means is that like an attack or a poke or anything like that towards her. I know I'm very sympathetic to anybody with mental health issues, but she does suffer from mental health issues. Anybody that knows her can actually confirm that. She mentioned a gentleman by the name of Alan Schroederer, and I took the liberty of finding him. He's a competitor. And I explained to him my situation. And he said, you didn't know, but she was barred in L.A. County from working under the name All Valley Paralegal. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. He's like, well, what, are you in front of a computer right now? I'm like, yes. Go to LA Superior org, the LA Superior, I think it's LASuperiorCourt.org, and he gave me the case number, and I included it in the fax that I sent late Tuesday, early Wednesday. And lo and behold, yeah, she is not allowed to operate under that name. She's not allowed to be doing what she's doing according to the Code and Professions Act or law, whatever they call it. What she's doing, operating as a paralegal, is illegal. You cannot be a paralegal in, I guess, the state of California unless you're working under an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what she's doing. He went into great detail telling me that there's certain paperwork that has to be signed. They can call themselves a document preparer. But what she's doing is illegal. And he pointed me to that case. I pulled it up, and I'm like, oh, wow. So when you say fraud, it's not just fraudulent use of a credit card. She's operating an illegal business. And operating an illegal business that accepts credit cards is no different than, I'm going to use a very bad example now. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than a drug dealer accepting credit cards to sell his materials.
Right. Right, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So that is another bulleted item that should go into pre-arbitration.
Right. Well, at this point, since it's already been submitted, we can't add to that pre-arbitration until it comes back to us.
Okay. That is an important piece of detail. Can you log that into the account now, or log that into the notes?
Right, I can definitely log that in.
And that, I could be, if you bear with me here, I have the paperwork that you can reference. Because I do, okay, here we go. I'm flipping pages, but it's in my hand. Okay, it was in my hand. I know I'd have a fax. Okay, I'm talking to myself. I'm just jogging my mind from, okay, let's see. That's not it here. Please bear with me here. I have 3 piles of papers. Okay, then it's in the scanned copy because I know I uploaded it. So yeah, check the scanned copy next. Okay, that's on my desktop. All right, I'm just pulling down my desktop, and let me see. I think this should be. I see 3 files here, so I know I'm talking to myself, and I just found it. Okay, now I have to zoom in on this because the font is way too small. I can't see this. Okay, there is a case here. It's case 11, U as in United, A as in America, 2601. So again, that's 11UA2601. Under that case, from 2011, she was removed, what's the right word, banned by the court to stop operating in the way she's operating. This is no different again. Here we go, October 25th, 2012. The Honorable Rogers admonishes Ms. Schwam and her workers and has told them and to stop holding themselves out as All Valley Paralegal and other means. It's right at the LASuperiorCourt.org website. So she was told by the judge, you can't do this. She's operating illegally.
Okay, and I can definitely note that as well.
Okay, do you want the case number again?
I have 11UA2601.
I'm just pulling that up again. I apologize. I closed it up. Yes, you have it. And in case you need notes for that, you go to LASuperiorCourt.org and you click on Civil Case Summary.
Okay.
And I'm still going to court on December 4th. And you know why I'm doing that? Because, Vicki, look at it this way. If I get pulled over for a tail light, say, for example, I lose because I don't show up, because, you know, that can happen, right? Well, there could be a judgment entered. She could take it to the next level by having one of those writ of execution type of hearings where, you know, I have to show assets and all that stuff, and I don't show up to that. Then a bench warrant can be issued for me. God forbid I get pulled over for, I don't know, a tail light, one of those random things. Oh, my God. If they run the plates, I just jump from the frying pan into the fire. I would even cross sue her. What do they call it? Countersue. But the reality is, look, if I put myself in that position and I win, she can go back and appeal. And, you know, my objective at this point is I just want to walk away with it. I walk away from this, never deal with that woman again, and that is it. As long as I don't have to pay, as long as I don't have to pay anything, I'm fine. I hired an attorney to handle this original case, but putting this into a close, I hired her to handle a legal matter for me, and 2 additional legal matters were born out of hiring Lorraine, and that was based on Lorraine's behavior, her work and her behavior. Yeah. So this is where I'm standing. I didn't know she was operating illegally, but that is an important piece of information that could save the day. There's no way at all you can put that as an addendum right now to this pre-arbitration.
Right. I could put it into your account. We just can't add it into the pre-arbitration at this point.
Okay, if the pre-arbitration gets rejected, the likelihood would probably be slim because they're pretty good with fraud. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know from my relationship with my merchant bank. You know, I know fraud is very hard to fight. That I do know. In case it does, I have one more shot to go back in. Is that right?
Right. After the pre-arbitration, like we would have regular arbitration, that would be the last hearing. And generally, there's, you don't really make it that far. I mean, it's very, very rare.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. In the event we go there, we definitely want to use this. This is very important. So, okay. Now, will Chad be contacting me back to explain any of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to have him give you a call. I'm going to let him know everything we discussed. And he'll be giving you a call probably tomorrow or on Tuesday. I did very clearly, loudly, twice, let him know that he needs to be calling you after 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Thank you. And can you do me one more favor? I know I held you up on the phone here for a long time. My God, we've been on the phone for 71 minutes. Is there anything you can put in there that says, you know, the language that was read to him was enough to set off a panic attack?
Well, I mean, I can put in there, but it's just unfortunately we can't do anything about that. That language will require to use for visa regulations and regulation. It requires us to use those types of definitions.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I agree with you on that because they are discerning for sure.
Okay. Okay. All right. So far we're looking good, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, and then I would just wait for that call.
Okay. And that credit.
Exactly.
All right. So I will let you run, Mickey. I think I'm calmer now. I'm glad that I'm calmer, and I do want to take a moment to apologize if I rattled any cages here.
No, it's definitely understandable. I mean, there's a lot going on, and you definitely want to be thorough. I definitely understand that. I mean, I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to say, you're talking too much, because it's not like that. It's just that sometimes, I mean, it is important to be detailed and thorough, but it's also important to make sure that you're catching all the small details as well. And I think maybe there's been a couple of holes or gaps that have been in there somehow. But we'll get those cleared up, and I'm going to send this to Chad. I actually work with him often, so I'll be able to tell him what's going on.
I'm sorry, who was it that you work with often? Was it Chad?
Chad. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I really appreciate this. I'm expecting that 1235 to be posting any day now, and that will lower the balance by 1235.
Okay.
Awesome. I will let you run. Truly appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Thank you. And you have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Mickey.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Please press 1 to complete a brief service.